Hope you guys are doing well. Let's get started here in just a second. Want to make sure that I'm on. Want to share my link to let people know that I'm on. So just give me 1 second here. Pulling up YouTube on my phone and going to make sure that the live feed is working. Let's go ahead and take a look. Yep. Looks like we're up there. I want to change the thumbnail of this video because it's yesterday's thumbnail. So I'm going to do that maybe after the video is over, and we'll go from there. All right, cool. Grab the link. Going to go ahead and put this up on Twitter, X, whatever you call it. I still call it Twitter. I just can't help it. Max loss today. It's funny. People love to see people lose or big win, right? It's like either win big or win big or lose a lot, and that always draws attention. Today, I did hit max loss in my account, so I wanted to go over just a few things, a few of my trades, and let's go ahead and get into that over here. Hope you guys had a good week. Overall, I had a great week. It was a lot of fun. Did a lot of great videos on Trade the Pool. Some good challenges. Today, though, on my personal eval account, I am down $277, so I hit a max loss. Got thrown out for the day, as so to speak, which is honestly, it's good in some ways when that happens. When you hit a max loss, you just you are exited from the trading floor, and you do live though to trade another day. So happy with that. Happy that it wasn't I mean, look, if you're trading your own capital, let's talk about this for a minute. If you're trading your own capital, say you've got the PDT rule changed recently, and you've got a $2,000 account, maybe you got Robinhood, a Webull account, and you're trading your own money. Okay, well, good for you. That's great. I would just say, especially if you're a new trader, you're going to take losses. I mean, mathematically, the probability in your favor to become a guru trader in your first 6 months of trading, even your first year of trading. Not to say you can't be profitable, by the way. Of course, there's profitable people that can do this right off the get, or within the first few months of trading. That does happen. I totally recognize that. But a lot of us are going to lose a lot, right? So if you're trading your own capital, you're probably going to, whatever you have in your account, be prepared to probably lose. And I just say that, I speak from experience, because this is not an easy game, right? Trading is not an easy venture. And anyone that tells you that, any other YouTube guru or video that you're watching saying trading's boring completely after I did this for the first year and then I figured all this out, it's like, I don't believe that. I really don't, because even those people are taking losses, okay? And learning to manage risk and the psychological elements that come into the trading venture is something that I have now. I'm reading several books with guys and gals that it takes years to harness these skills, and mainly it's the skill of risk management. Okay. So all that to say, I work with and also use Trade the Pool, which I really, really love. And if you are, by the way, I have to say this probably every video just to make sure I don't get in trouble with anyone. I am not giving you financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, so seek someone who is. But I'm just spitballing, giving my thoughts, my experience, my opinion, and the books that I read, the conversations that I have with other traders. I think there's some value in it. I hope you get value out of it as I am progressing in my trading journey, and I hope you are as well. So, just back to Trade the Pool real quick. This is the dashboard that they give you when you get an account. You can check the link in my description, and it will send you right over to the website, and you can check out Trade the Pool. Again, it's a great platform, great people, and I really, really like it. So I took 18 trades today. Let's go back. First trade that I took was a $9 win. I'm not even, and you know what? I don't even want to focus on my wins today. Let's just focus on some of these big losers that got me where I was, because that is the thing that I want to learn from. I want to learn from my losers. You typically don't learn from winning, right? I think that is scientifically, statistical, whatever. I think that you don't learn from your wins as much as you will learn from your losses and how to mitigate them in the future, and for what you were doing. And for what you can change in the future. So first trade was INTC, just a little baby $9 win. And then my second trade, I went over to SpaceX. Looks like I was shorting here at the very beginning of the day, and a $20 win. So $29. My bare minimum goal is I would like $25. Which is, I realize it's nothing, but baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. I wasn't satisfied because, hey, it was Friday. We were off last Friday. We didn't have trading last Friday, and this was the last day to trade, and I was having a good time trading. I didn't want to quit early. What time was this? Yeah, 8 minutes. I traded way too early. I have been telling myself, don't trade those opening liquidity candles. But today I was rearing and ready to go. I've been on a lot of live streams this week. I haven't had the opportunity to just get down in front of the charts and focus in and do what I wanted to do. So I got in at 8:32. That was my first trade, or 9:32. I'm Central Standard Time. So 9:32 Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Time. It was my first trade for the $9 win, and then I did a second trade at SpaceX, and that I closed that trade out at 9:38. So I was up almost $30, or was it? It was $30. Could have walked away, could have been happy, but no, I had to go back to INTC and short it a few minutes later. $81 loss, so I'm in the hole for the day. After that, I don't think I firmly recovered. Let's go ahead and take a look, though, at this INTC trade that I took at 9:45. So let's go over to INTC and take a look at why I decided to trade this. Just move this down here a little bit. We've got the 1 minute chart we're going to be looking at. And let's take a look. Oh, even by looking at this candle, I think I know exactly where I was at and what was happening, because take a look. Is this it? Yep, it is. Yep, let's make sure the exact time. All right, INTC, $81 loss. Okay, so I'm going short. I'm going short 40 shares. Baby shares, right? Not a lot. 845 to 847. I'm going short, and I think if you saw it, you saw it already. Look at this. I'm in here short, looking for lower lows. The low hit 125.50. I'm thinking, hey, we're going up. Look at this red big juicy candle over here at 9:39. This is Central Standard Time that you're seeing here on the bottom of the screen, if you can see that. But this is now, I mean, we could definitely dig a little deeper, especially the way the market's been on occasion some of these days, right? We could dig a little more hole, 125.50. We could go down to 124, right? I mean, that could easily happen. And let's see, did I pay attention to my rules, which is below the 9, below VWAP? To me, that's a fine place to potentially take a short, to look for more downside, for more continuation to the downside. But look at this candle here. I'm zooming in closer. Look at this. This guy stopped me out right here. So I got in somewhere in this candle and got stopped out when it made a move above the 9, above the 20, above VWAP. And dude, you are out. This is a $2 candle. Yeah, this is a $2 candle. 125 to 127. Almost a $2 candle. Yeah. So this one stopped me out. This one gave me the $81 loss. First loss of the day, and I'm red. I do not, honestly, this trade to me is valid. This idea is valid, thinking that it could potentially go for, could reach new lows. When you're right here and you're looking across the board, so to speak, across the chart, and you're seeing, hey, we're potentially tapping, we're getting at this point. I look at it and I just say, you know what? That was a valid loss. It's a bummer I took it, but it was a loss. Let's see. After that, a quick 25-cent loss. Not going to look at it. And then an $8 win, a $15 win, an $80 loss. Okay, so this is when I started getting a little desperate. I said, hey, let's go to my old girl MU, because sometimes she's a giving gal, and sometimes she can really bless you. So let's see what we got with Miss MU. I don't know why I call her Miss. To me, it's just like I liken her to a lady. She's good. She's scary at times. You never know what you're going to get from her. But yeah, MU is the hottest thing on the market, right? So maybe that's why I say she's a lady. She's smoking. And she'll smoke you sometimes. And she'll rob you and take everything from you. Okay, let's take a look. MU, so 8:57, 9:57 Eastern time, 8:57 Central time, my time. Let's go ahead and take a look at that candle, what I did wrong. All right. So, okay, yes, so MU, if you traded MU this morning. Wow. Holy stair climber. Look at this. Just a beautiful stair climber on up. My first thought reaction was break my rule, okay? Because I thought at a certain point this was not going to continue upward mobility any further, okay? Right at about this candle here, because it was 8:57 I got stopped out at. I got in somewhere in this candle thinking at this point, wow, what an idiot. What was I thinking? All right, so we're just above VWAP, and this hasn't even begun the stair climbing yet. Of course, everything in retrospect, you can see it all in retrospect, right? You can look at all your trades and say, I would have done this. Well, you didn't in real time, did you? This is why journaling, going back, looking at your trades is very helpful, because it gives you opportunity to say, oh, no, sometimes the trade doesn't work out the way you thought it was going to in real time. So 8:56, I'm thinking, all right, this is probably time to short. Why? Because we are extended. We've been blasting to the atmosphere with MU. This thing looks like a rocket ship. When you're, just above VWAP breaking, it's a nice green candle, nice green candle. Hey, at a certain point, it's got to give back. So I thought, with MU, you can take a quick scalp with MU, right? I was down at that point, $60 or so for the day. I was thinking, hey, take a quick scalp, even if it recoils for 30 seconds or a minute. That is enough to get me back, get me in the green. But it did not. Okay, so this trade for MU. I am in the trade for less than a minute and set my stop 10 shares of MU, negative $80 because I shorted it when it was still going up. She's a freight train. She is a freight train. So it goes up, I get out, and then at that point I realized, okay, you cannot sometimes look at a stock, particularly MU, and say she's out of gas, she's done. This is when I actually got a little bit smart, and let's see if my account reflects that. Yes. So the next trade at 8:57, I literally turned around. I literally said, okay, the train's not done. We'll just, if this is the flow, I want to go with the flow. I want to go with the traffic here. 8:57 to 8:58, 10 shares again. I get half of it back. 8:57, so 9:57 Eastern time. Somewhere in here. When did I get out? 8:58. 8:58 on this chart, at least. Okay. So literally somewhere just right in here in this small little bit. I must have set my stop somewhere down in here, and it just stopped me out. Did I take half profits? I'm notorious for trying to, once I'm profitable, decreasing my position. I did not. I just got in, got out for a quick scalp. Got half of that back. Okay, cool. Nice. Did it again at, again, another quick scalp, almost $30 winner from 9 to 9:01. Let's take a look at that. So 9 to 9:01 to this over here. So I was in the bulk of this candle. This guy right here going up. why I must have gotten in a little bit higher then, because it doesn't make sense that I only made $30. So I probably got in at a higher point of this candle only to be stopped out over here. I'm sure that's what happened. And then after that, so that's a $30 win. Hey, I'm almost profitable, right? Not completely. Now here's, as I'm thinking out loud, and this is the first time, by the way, I didn't pre-review this. I traded this morning, and I'm coming on here live to say, hey, let's take a look at my trades. And now I'm going, what am I doing? What am I doing here? 902, 902. I shorted it. This is where I thought again. I thought, hey, this is the top. This is the top, right? Did we reach the top at 902? No, we did not. We still did some more stair-stepping. And so within this candle, I shorted it, thinking we'd fall probably at least, maybe we'll touch the 9. Hey, had it fallen to the 9, would have been a good trade. Could have got out, could have got stopped out with some good profit, could have continued and would have been green for the day. At this point, would have been beautiful. But no. MU continued to climb. Stopped me out, negative $46. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I need to go long. I need to stay long because it's not done. At some point, it's going to be done, right? Stocks they typically do not go up all day. There's always a point where it makes the mountain and you reach the apex and you come back down the mountain. At least to some extent, you start coming back down because that is the way stocks move. 903 to 905, I get a win. I said I wasn't going to look at my wins, but now I'm curious because I'm like, wait a minute. What were some of the things I did do right? So 903, 905. Okay, so somewhere got in this red candle. This is me taking shots because why would I get in here? This is, I should have waited probably for validation with this candle at 904, not to look at this one and say, oh, we'll probably go back up. You always see things in the past. You always see it accurately later on. All right, I don't want to focus too much on these baby or small wins because whatever. $26, $19 win. Okay, this is highlighted in pink over here because I did not hold the trade for more than 30 seconds or more. So that is why that one does not count. But I did have, look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4. I had four wins in a row. If you include the one that doesn't count, it was still a winning trade, so yay. Okay, but now let's take a quick gander at 913 to 914 because I went long and lost $74. And at this point, I already know what's going to happen on the charts. We're going to go into some consolidation moment, where it's kind of we start channeling. So here's 913. Here's 914 am I getting out? Let's take a look. For this $74 loss. 913 to 914 going long. 913 to 914. Okay, take a look at this. So we break below the 9. We don't hold. Okay? Still potentially valid for maybe some more move to the upside, but we don't. At least I set a stop where I did because this thing would have just annihilated me further and I would have reached max loss probably a lot faster if I had just continued to hold on down through here because we now go below the 9 and the 20 before we move back on up temporarily, not even for long, but above the 9 again. So good thing I got out there. And at that point, things are choppy. I'm still just trying to get green for the day. And I've noticed that in the past. If I am taking this day started off green before max loss. This day started off where I could have just said, it's Friday, take your little baby win, and say, bye-bye, market, see you Monday. Could have done that. Should have done that in retrospect. I've had multiple days before like this where I stay in the market. It's I get some quick wins, and then I say, no, I like that Vegas kind of mentality, right? Just continue to roll the dice, continue to spin the wheel, and stay in. Let's see what I can do. Can I make, a lot more today? I had no real reason personally to stay in today. On a Friday, you've got a little bit of baby profit, just walk away. I did turn around and get a $36 winner going short. And then let's just take a look at these last two trades. At 9.19, I get smoked going long. At 9.19, I get smoked going long. Wow, really? That's another thing, too. When you start looking back, you're like, wow, could I really have lost $74 just within this candle? Well, yeah, it's MU. Yes, you can. Even on 10 shares. And I believe that's what it was, right? 10 shares. Correct. Wow, 10 shares. 10 shares, and you are down 70. I am down $70 here. How disheartening. And at that point, I know what was going through my mind. Hey, I'm in another loss. I'm really bleeding out. I really want to get this back. MU can be the stock to give it back, but does she? Does she give it back to me? Well, no, I was too desperate. I was too desperate of a young man. She was like, no, I don't really care for you. And look at this. I had 20 shares. I had been playing with 10. But this time I doubled down and I said, I want the money. I wanted MU. She thought I wanted it a little too much. She said, you're too desperate of a boy. I ain't giving it to you. 9.20. $139 loss on 20 shares going short at 9.20. Let's take a look. Woo! You don't short this one. This, I got in at some point in this big old green candle and got stopped out probably somewhere at the top. And then we consolidate for a few candles on the 1 minute. We start falling below. And, at this point, look at this. We start getting more of a bearish trend going on. We start falling to VWAP. We kind of consolidate on the VWAP line, more or less, and kind of channel with VWAP for a little bit before we fall below it. And then we rise above. And at that point, by the way, that was my last trade that I took because as I said, max loss. It was max loss today, It just didn't feel good. I don't feel good about it. I'm sad about it. I'm bummed about it. But Monday, I get to trade again. And because I am not risking my own capital and I'm using Trade the Pool, you don't feel bad about any loss. At least you shouldn't. I never feel, I have a losing day. I feel terrible, right? But the thing I can say confidently is, hey, I didn't risk my own capital today with these losses. I would much rather had this been a $30 win, walk away, yay, bring on the weekend. It would have put a little bit more pep in my step at the gym. When after I traded today, I was like, ah, I was kind of angry lifting weights today after max loss. But the thing that I know is I'm coming back on Monday, right? I'm going to reset, recalibrate over the weekend. And, if you took a bad loss today, that's what you need to do too. That's what you need to do too. Did I say it too quick? I did. Recalibrate, read some books on trading or, even take a break from trading mentally entirely. Take tomorrow's Saturday, spend time with your family, your loved ones, whatever you do to enjoy, have fun. That is what is nice also about the trading atmosphere is on a weekend. You can study, you can journal, of course, and I think you should, but I also think it is so helpful to just exit, You just like a guy who is a hockey player or a football player or whatever sport you want to imagine right now for illustrative purposes. He wouldn't stay on the court. He wouldn't stay on the field. He wouldn't stay on the ice. He's not going to stay there all day, every day, literally saying, oh my gosh, I must be out here. And if I don't, then I'm not going to be able to do this professionally. Like, no, you got to have downtime. You got to give the body rest. You got to give the brain a rest. And so that is what I'm going to do this weekend. Obviously, I did some live recap for you all today to show you, hey, not every day goes the way you want it to, but there is always tomorrow. So thank you for being on here with me. I hope you guys have all a great weekend, and I will come back on Monday.